listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all your info, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or find us on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Daniel Heron, Tyler Abear, and Cousin Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Heron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
And I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 31 of the official Wrestling News Source podcast.
31.
What'd it do?
For all of your info, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com. WNS Podcast on YouTube by searching WNS Video. On iTunes by Wrestling News Source Podcast.
And for us, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's WNS Podcast. And for the main site, it's WN Source.
Very good.
That's right. I just took it from you, son. I just took it from you.
Hashtag that. Oh, man.
You just got took.
Well, if
you just
people want to
got
follow us on the... Okay.
We welcome you to the show. That was a very interesting intro for us. Had a little bit too much of the sauce on that one. Crowning moment, crowning achievement in one person's life. We thank you, Holly, for doing that lovely intro for us.
that drunk girl we found outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like we said, to get your contest, WNS podcast contest intros, go onto YouTube, search WNS Video, and check out the details on all of that and how you can possibly open the show. Yeah, it's good stuff. So we'll definitely have some more coming up in the next few weeks. Just gonna kick off. We're gonna make this sort of just a quick show. We have a lot to cover, and I don't want to spend too much time dwelling on it. So we're gonna kick it off. Huh?
What did you just say?
We're spending too much time
Blowing on it?
dwelling.
Also, we have an awesome interview. So
Absolutely. I am ready to get to the interview. So we will have a very special guest on a little bit later on. Mm-hmm. But kicking off things, we're going to touch up on Impact, which I didn't watch. Tyler, did you watch any of it this week?
A little bit.
A little bit. How about you, Doug?
I saw about half at a union meeting. So
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Are y'all going to pick it?
I'd like to, personally.
Oh, okay. Well, best of luck with that whenever that happens. What do we want?
What do we want?
I don't know. Podcast. That's what we want. So, Hardcore Justice was this past Sunday. Main topic of the story: Kurt Angle defeating Sting with the help of a chair that was given to him by none other than Hulk Hogan.
Hogan was shocked.
He was.
Yes.
Tyler is shocked too.
I'm shocked.
But it's very interesting because it poses the question: is Kurt part of Immortal now?
Yes.
I wouldn't put it past him.
He's going to be part of Immortal this week. The next week, he's not going to be part of Immortal. Then he's going to be a babyface. Then he's going to be a heel.
Then there's going to be no Immortal.
Then there's not going to be Immortal. Then they're going to act. They're going to.
Whoa,
they're going to build up to this big Immortal reunion, and then they're going to forget to sign all those guys, and then they're going to have to replace it with Fortune.
What about? Whoa! You forgot about like each week they're gonna pick a new person and be an immortal. Then after that, kick them out. Then a new person. Then kick them out until everyone on the roster is a part of.
And all the heels are gonna act like baby faces, and then all the baby faces are gonna act like heels.
Hey, don't forget about Hot Shot and the belts.
Yes.
And then Mr. Anderson will come out and fight somebody, and depending on who he fights, he'll be a heel or face.
Did we? I think we covered it.
I think that's.
I think we covered every Impact of the past 2 years. Right there.
So yeah, I read an article written that said, this is not a good way to end a pay-per-view. The pay-per-view is supposed to answer all the questions, not pose more.
Well, like on free TV, you build to get people to pay to see the resolution, not the other way around.
Absolutely.
You don't give away what should have been given away on the pay-per-view for free on TV.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
So, just.
I guess it makes sense in their head, but not.
Yeah, I mean, I want to support Impact or TNA, whatever you want to call it, but they
have a lot of guys I really like and I really want to get behind them, but it's and I'll watch pretty much anything, but
it's just hard to get behind a company that makes so many mistakes like that.
Yeah.
So it's just poorly run. I don't know.
Yeah.
So sorry for the fans who commented that we don't cover TNA enough or Impact enough. It's
I usually do watch it, and depending on if the other guys watch it, we'll make sure we give it equal time from now on. But don't expect to have like favorable like reviews of it or anything like that.
We'll try and hit on a couple of notes, but yeah, Sting on the last Impact sort of said, "I'm done laughing now," and got down to business versus Kurt Angle. So, just interesting tidbits of news going on. Anthony Nese, an independent wrestler who was last seen at the three-way qualifying match for Destination X last July, recently being signed by TNA. So we'll get to see a little bit of him in the near future.
Also, I don't know if it was last week or the week before. What was that Big Brother star, Jesse? I don't know the dude that was on. You know what I'm talking about? Daryl. No, he was trained for. Bubba Ray's been training him or whatever. I heard that he signed it.
Well, that's the right move they should have made. I think everything's going to turn around because they signed that guy. That sounds like something.
He was on Big Brother.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't that sound like something that was going to turn your business around?
Yeah, sounds like a winner in my book. Yeah, rather than
just like when they
got key or don't bring it. Those
just
guys.
like when they got that Survivor chick that was in the main event Mafia.
Oh god.
Hey, that turned everything around.
Yeah, what was her name?
I don't know.
So yeah, another interesting bit of news in the Impact world. Crimson, he is the leader for the Bound for Glory series, but possibly injured his knee. Although he noted that he's not gonna miss Impact, and for everyone to tune in. But just a little bit of interesting news. Moving on into the world of WWE, like I said, we're just gonna breeze through this real quick. It's gonna be a very interesting episode. I just want to get to our interview. I'm excited.
Word.
I am too.
But yeah, going on to the world of WWE, Sin Cara supposedly going to be replaced by none other than Sin Cara. And by that, we mean, who was it? Hunico?
Yep.
Yes. So he will be supposedly donning the Sin Cara mask at the local shows and maybe even SmackDown tapings. Because they advertised Sin Cara for this week's SmackDown to return, but it's being reported that he is not backstage for the SmackDown tapings. So I mean,
his suspension's not up yet.
Yeah, I think he still has like 1 week left. So, but I mean, what do you guys think about this? Having a masked wrestler replace another masked wrestler in that same style.
I mean, I don't know. I don't see what the guy. I guess it really just depends on if they're bringing it back or if they really are that frustrated with him that.
Is he like the same size as Sin Cara? Is he around the same size?
I don't know.
Really don't know.
I haven't seen too much.
I mean,
of him.
They'd have to be standing like side by side for me to be able to tell that kind of stuff. But.
Yeah. And another person that the WWE officials seem to be not happy with is John Morrison, because recently released diva Melina supposedly tried to get into Raw last night or into the Raw event, but was refused entry. So for those who don't know, they are a real life couple, and they they went to the trip together, and it was being said that Melina's release annoyed those backstage. There was concern that she might physically cause a problem backstage at Raw if she was let in. So security told her not to let her in.
Well, she's a siren.
But yeah, John Morrison not looking too good in the eyes of the officials. And well, I mean, what do you think about
You better play it cool, or his girlfriend's gonna get him in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, he's done this before. What was the same thing with WrestleMania with Trish Stratus?
But that was him saying something. He said something about Trish. Or
well,
no,
he
Trish
just did a cold shoulder.
Yeah, Trish. But that was actually him. This is actually, spawned from Melina.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha.
But I mean, Tyler, what do you think about people who bring their girlfriends to
podcasts?
No, not podcasts. Wrestling events. That.
Well, I pretty much just tell them, be quiet and let me watch wrestling. So don't talk to me.
The real question is, what do you think? What do you think about people who bring their girlfriends to the bathroom with him and let them talk on the phone? That is the real question.
I don't know what's going on. That did not happen.
For those who are wondering, you're probably better off not. A little bit of interesting SmackDown news going on. Daniel Bryan debuting a new theme this past Friday. It's called Free Fall by the group Two Steps from Hell. And I happened to catch it on SmackDown. It sounds pretty good. I prefer Ride of the Valkyries, but, it's not like a bad song. But, I think it'll grow on me over the course of time. Did either of y'all happen to catch SmackDown
I did.
or hear it?
I did.
What
It was
were
all
your
right.
thoughts?
It was okay. I don't think it was that great.
Final countdown, Europe.
But he had an awesome match. That's what is
Yeah,
important.
he had a great match with
like he
Tyson
did last
Kidd.
week, and we'll have this week and every other week. That is
long as you put him
the
on
important
there.
thing.
So, do you think he's going to be in SummerSlam? Because as of right now, where we are, they haven't advertised for SummerSlam a possible Daniel Bryan Wade Barrett match. But do you think that could be in the works?
I think they need to keep him going. He needs something.
Keep him going strong on that one.
Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett, definitely. So, also another injury report. Rey Mysterio undergoing an MRI on his knee. It was reported that during a house show, they had to end the match pretty quickly because he was, favoring his knee, made it seem like it was pretty hurt. And then also on Raw, he came out to have a match versus The Miz, and Miz attacked him from behind. So it could be like their way of, riding him out, letting him get a week off or something like that.
Right. Well, the thing is like, they're trying to see San Diego. Raw's in San Diego next week, and so I guess they're trying to save him for that. Like,
Yeah.
for the because he's got the winner of the WWE title match.
Yeah, definitely. So, but as we said earlier, Melina being released from WWE, but she was not the only one this past week. WWE releasing Vladimir Kozlov, Chris Masters, D.H. Smith.
Harry?
Yes, Harry. And also it's being reported that Gail Kim quit. However, it is also being said that she is still under contract, so she will be forced to, or she cannot wrestle with any other companies until her contract is expired.
Televised.
Yeah, televised matches. So, what do you guys think about all these releases? Like, these are some huge.
Some of them.
No, not necessarily huge names, but big
some
talents.
of them like kind of baffle me. Gail Kim, I could get being frustrated with them not really using her, and she can go.
Yeah, they haven't
But
had
I don't
anything for her.
I don't see where she goes from here. Definitely,
There's some.
I wouldn't see her going back to TNA.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
There's some like when I saw that, I was surprised there was not some other people released. Like I know we've been, I guess, saying for a while, like JTG. But
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know why he's still around, but some of these other guys are not. D.H. Smith, like I think, has the size that they like, and I think he's never really got a fair shake. So I don't see.
Yeah, it's like once they broke up the Hart Foundation or Hart Dynasty
was off
or whatever.
TV.
Yeah, he was done.
Within weeks.
they shouldn't have done that.
He never got a fair shake. And
They moved him down to Superstars, and then they even tried to revamp him, give him a different gimmick, like a cowboy gimmick or something like that. Which
the
is
Canadian Cowboy.
Yeah, something like that.
And also with like Chris Masters, he got released, and then they brought him back. Guess they saw him, something, he's ready to come back.
he has
and
good matches like all the time.
Then
like I don't know like why he would be released.
I was I was shocked on Chris Masters.
He's not like a bonus. I saw some people talking about it on someone said on the Facebook page, and I'm sorry, your name is escaping me right now, that he proved himself as a main eventer, and I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but he's proved himself as a solid hand who can work with like a range of guys, and you need those kind of guys around, even if they're not getting a push. You got to have the other guys, So that was kind of baffling to me.
Yeah, same going with Vladimir Kozlov. Like whenever he first came in, he was the Moscow Mauler. He was the force to be reckoned with and stuff like that. And then they made him go, kid-friendly, teaming him up with Santino Marella, going in dance-offs and stuff like that. And then they just broke those two apart, and he was a pro on NXT, and that was pretty much it. See you later.
Yeah.
I've noticed something over the past few seasons of NXT. a lot of the pros end up being let go during the seasons. of that.
Carlito.
Yeah, Carlito, Chavo. I'm sure there are a few others, but yeah, just a little interesting thing that I remember. So yeah, out with the old and I guess in with the new, because Colt Cabana being reported that he wrestled another dark match this past week.
Versus Kurt Hawkins?
Think so, but definitely good news. Good to see that he might be coming into the picture pretty soon.
He has said on his on the Art of Wrestling, his podcast, that WeLoveColt.com. Cheap plug. Holler at us, Colt. No, he said that he hadn't signed, but I don't know if that's just work or he technically hadn't signed at this point, but he plans on signing or what.
Right. Maybe they're ironing out all the small details.
Yeah, but he did say he hadn't signed, and I don't know. But go listen to that, because his guest this week or that week was Johnny Saint. So you guys should be listening. If you don't know who Johnny Saint is, you need to listen to it especially. So check it out.
I guess I'll have to listen to that then. One interesting note that happened this past week on Raw, the GM podium, the anonymous general manager, not used again. So I believe this is 3 weeks in a row or something that we haven't had the iTunes update noise. So
He's gone mobile.
He's been gone mobile. Now he's just gone bye-bye.
Yeah. He's pretty much kind of just. I think this is probably the best way for him to phase it out. Just
never mention it.
Yeah, never mention it, and he just.
Because they drug it out too long to no matter who it is, it's going to be like
that. Could be one of the great questions of our time. What happened to the anonymous Raw general manager?
And whose feet were those before The Rock came out as the host of WrestleMania?
Yeah, who's
that limo?
And why in the world would you let your girlfriend to go in the bathroom with you and talk on the phone? Another great mystery.
Wow.
So stuff's getting thrown around here. I don't know. I don't know where we're going. But we're going to move on into our SummerSlam picks.
Not picking that up.
I'd like to do a lot of the matches, but they have not been announced so far. So far, we only have 4 matches announced for SummerSlam.
Well, we just skipped over Raw completely, didn't we?
Huh?
We just kind of skipped over Raw completely.
Well, for the most part, but I mean, we can cover it a little bit.
Well, I think the main thing, if we're going to talk about anything else, we at least need to talk about Triple H inserting himself as the special referee.
Yeah,
I think that needs to be covered. So let's chat that.
Okay, we'll jump right on in there.
I think it's kind of ridiculous. I don't think the Angle needed it. I think he kind of shoehorned himself into the Angle, and I guess the only reason to have him is he's going to end up screwing one or the other.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So who do you think he's going to screw?
Punk.
Really?
Well,
I mean, I guess we could talk. I guess we could talk about this part during the predictions, but because it's kind of like saying who do you think's going over? By saying who do you think's getting screwed, so.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I mean, Raw ended.
Do you think that he needed to be in the match?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Yeah.
Unless it's going to set up for something, later on. Yeah. But I mean,
they haven't proven they don't like each other, and they talk crap on each other, but it's been a pretty civilized feud. It's all been in the ring,
Yeah.
I mean, they've shown no need for any kind of special referee or enforcer or any of that other stuff.
Mm-hmm. So. But yeah, Raw itself was pretty decent, but I would say kind of forgettable, except for the final segment. I mean, the Divas match was good because they let them go more than 3 minutes. Beth Phoenix went out there and showed what she can do against Eve and got the win and stuff like that. And
I dug the Punk Del Rio match. It was short, but it was effective.
Destiny.
It made Del Rio look good. What I really like about Alberto Del Rio, he shows a lot of focus in his matches. He always works the arm because he has an arm submission finish. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's no matter what he does, he's going to try and focus on it.
Yeah, and I hate when guys who have submissions don't focus on the body part during the match, and they just get a quit.
Automatically.
I mean, you can sub somebody out of nowhere sometimes, but if you know that's what you're going for, you're going to work the body part.
I'm going to work on your ankle, but then the submission's going to focus on your back.
Right.
So you're going to tap to that, okay?
Tap or snap.
But
that really bothers me.
Yeah. But yeah, we also had Miz versus Kofi Kingston, and that was a pretty.
And the Miz thought he won the match, but Triple H was like, "Hey, guess what? You have another opponent."
Yeah. So,
Which we thought would be Zack Ryder, but
I was kind of hoping to see Zack Ryder on Raw, but it was not to be. But, maybe we'll see him on SmackDown.
Coffee Blinkston.
As he seems to be on Raw and SmackDown helping out Teddy Long. But, we'll just go ahead.
He has a weird dynamic. It's like he's a face on Raw, but like they're kind of trying to make him a heel on SmackDown. Almost like Michael Cole was like originally, where they were trying to have him.
Kind of, yeah. Like he was a heel on Raw, and then he'd go over to SmackDown and just be like, oh, okay, welcome to SmackDown. Yeah.
Yeah, but like Ryder's the face on Raw, and then he goes over and like he was trying to like set up Ezekiel and like handicap matches and stuff.
Mhm.
And not that he's being like super heel, but he's kind of being like douchey heel. I don't know.
Although that is kind of part of his gimmick to be sort of a...
Well, yeah, but you can tell. I mean,
Yeah. And also, Sheamus is going to be coming out with a new theme song, or he either already did or it's coming up. And I listened to it. It's just a verified version of its current one. It's a little more Celtic. I like
that's
it.
just with a lot of songs.
that seems to be the way they're going. Like,
Yeah,
with
they'll just redo it. I mean, I like it. It's it'll grow on me. But honestly, the original one that he had, it's a shameful thing. That one was my favorite. So
Time to move on.
yeah, bigger and better things, I guess you could say. But on Raw, the final segment is what definitely kept me tuned in. The confrontation between CM Punk and John Cena, the little video package that they showed from The Rock during a announcement that he made not too long ago. I thought it was really good. What did you think, Tyler?
I didn't.
Either one.
Go ahead, Tyler.
You go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I didn't really care about the Rock thing,
Yeah.
but Punk was pretty great on the mic as usual.
Yeah.
I guess that's a way to insert that,
Mhm.
Guess who, I got a movie star, guess who's going to say this. And because what pay-per-view coming up he's going to be
Survivor Series.
Survivor
I believe.
Series.
Yeah.
There's going to be a couple of them he's going to be at, right? Is that
I think
what
so.
that's what's been reported. So
You have to. You can't. I mean,
to build up for
Yeah.
WrestleMania,
how do you guys feel about them making Johnny Ace like a on-air character? Are you digging on that, or you think it's unnecessary, or?
I think it has potential to be great.
yeah. What was it that you were saying that he could be like a?
He could be like
like a Vince
the new
McMahon.
evil Vince McMahon because he
Ace?
yeah
Okay.
like he could sort of do that because he retired from wrestling kind of early to do sort of the behind the scenes stuff. So and he's not that old. Like I think
No.
he's even a year younger than Triple H, or it's either a year older or a year younger. But
I'm not sure. about that.
he's right in his I think mid 40s, so he could take bumps and stuff like that.
Get
So
kicked
he
in the
could
head.
he could do the heel gimmick.
See, I don't see him
Yeah.
being another Vince. If anything, I see him being a new stooge like a Patterson or a Briscoe, but not comedic.
Yeah,
I don't see him. I mean, not as stoogey as
Mhm.
Patterson or Briscoe, but I see him as the sidekick. I don't see him as Vince.
sidekick of Triple H.
side kick to the head by CM Punk is what happened.
So I mean, is that foreshadowing? Are they? Because whenever he was standing in the ring with Cena after the little squabble that
Mhm.
everybody got into, Punk was like, "Is the fix in? Is that it?
Yeah.
Is this what it's going to be like at SummerSlam?
Me
And
tell
then
you-
is that foreshadowing that they're going to swerve and that he's going to screw Cena? Because I don't see how that you make sense of that and how that's logical.
yeah,
something's gonna happen because he's already in the angle, and I guess he's gonna be there for a while. I guess. Do you think?
The thing about it is he didn't need to be. The money's still like the angle's still drawing money, and like I could see if like it was dying or like fizzling out, they inject Triple H to keep it going.
mm-hmm.
But at this point, he just didn't need to be there.
Okay. Yeah, but that was, I mean, all in all, a pretty good segment to send us into SummerSlam for Raw, which brings us to our SummerSlam picks. Like we said before, there's only 4 matches as announced so far. So we'll go ahead and kick off with Sheamus versus Mark Henry.
Can we start with the women's? Because I want to talk about
Absolutely.
the 2 SmackDown announced matches a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. We'll do Kelly versus Beth Phoenix first.
Beth Phoenix.
Beth Phoenix. Okay. What about you, Tyler?
I'm gonna go with Beth Phoenix too because I think I think it's time for Kelly's reign to
End.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they turned Beth Phoenix heel. You know, bringing her back into the mix. It's time for her, I guess, to get the title and kind of be on the top for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And also on SmackDown, Natalya turning heel and agreeing with Beth Phoenix. So do either of you guys possibly see Natalya ringside for this match, either in the corner or acting as an enforcer or something like that?
I don't think she'll have like an official like
she might not have like
yeah.
a part in the match, but like maybe she'll be.
Yes, I can see that.
I
don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I think it's a good possibility.
What about if Natalya will come out, and what if like Eve will come out for her?
Yeah,
so she kind of stands up for Kelly.
Yeah, something like that. But I'm going to go with Beth Phoenix as well. I think that the heel turns for both Beth Phoenix and Natalya are fresh, and I like it. And they're two women who can actually wrestle, who don't have to be, the Barbie model that they've claimed to hate and all that. So Beth Phoenix all around for our picks. Do you want to go into Sheamus, Mark Henry next?
Well, yeah. If you guys don't mind, I kind of want to talk about Sheamus, Mark Henry, and Orton Christian kind of all at the same time.
Okay.
Because I think I'm really not sure like what their intentions are here, and I'm really confused as to what my call is going to be, because the way they've built the Sheamus and Mark Henry, it's like if Orton goes over, then you're going to get Orton Henry, right? That's the only.
Yeah,
and if Christian goes over, you're going to get Christian Sheamus, right?
Or if Orton wins, then Christian's going to be able to have another rematch.
But still, eventually, after this, it's got to go that way.
I know. Also, it's it's been reported that's what they wanted to do, Randy Orton and Mark Henry. That was the way that they wanted to go.
So, I mean, but it feels like it's too soon. Like, Mark Henry's kind of been on this tear, and he kind of feels like he's the one that needs to go over here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like you just turned Triple H. You just turned Sheamus face, and it doesn't that feel like you're going to kind of kill him off the bat, late jobbing him to Henry. It's kind of like they booked themselves in this weird little like box where it's kind of iffy no matter what.
It's Alberto Del Rio all over again. he can't get the push that he deserves.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how do you guys feel about that whole situation? And then I guess we'll make calls after that. But.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on this one. It's
it's tricky.
It's whoever wins the Sheamus and Mark Henry match, I think is gonna determine who wins the Christian Randy Orton match. I think
that'll tip you off as to.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, they could always.
Whoever wins the title is what's going to determine the undercard or the other guy. But I mean, I know what you mean by as far as
or don't you think,
card order that is going to tip you off to the main.
Yeah.
Like say I just lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Take a second.
It's more than a second. No, say if I guess Sheamus and Henry is one of the first matches and stuff
that's
like
kind of
that.
what I'm thinking.
I guess say if Henry does win, then I guess about Henry getting himself involved in the Christian Randy Orton match.
Yeah, that could be possible for him to do. So, I mean, this kind of just popped in my head. So, in 2 or 3 days, I'll completely change my mind or something like this. But I see Sheamus and Mark Henry going to a no contest or double disqualification or double count out. I don't see a winner for this one, just because, like you said,
to make them both
kinda
look strong.
Yeah, you want them both to look strong, and you don't want to ride them both into a corner. So, but either way, I mean, you still do when it comes to the heavyweight championship match, because it's who's gonna fight them,
right?
So I mean, as far as
I definitely agree that that's what they should do, fight to a no contest. But I don't know if that's what's gonna happen. I'm not convinced one way or the other. I really don't know.
Yeah, or maybe they just beat each other so much they can't make a standing 10 count or something like that, and that could lead to another feud while they figure out the whole Randy Orton Christian thing, and they could have a last man standing match or something like that. I mean, it's just something I'm throwing out. But as far as picks, I'm going to go with a wild card and say there will be no winner in Sheamus Mark Henry.
Then what's your call in the main?
For the main event, that's
Well, I guess this isn't really the main. I guess it's a co-main or
Yeah.
not really even the main, but
for
title match.
for Randy Orton, Christian. I don't want
Wow.
to, but I'm going to say Randy Orton wins.
That's kind of where I was going to.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, like, I really hope they take your route and that Henry and Sheamus goes to a no contest, because I think both of those guys need to look strong right now.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm gonna say Mark Henry, and then I'm gonna say Randy Orton.
Okay. And Tyler?
But I'd actually rather Christian go over.
Yeah. I mean, I would like for this feud to end. I would like Christian to win, but I think they're going to try and keep it going a little bit longer.
Orton needs to be freshened up. They got to take him out of the main event scene and give him something else to do. He's so stale.
Yeah.
This may not like
Give him some time off or something, man.
make sense or anything, but like with like we're predicting, but I'm gonna go with like Henry winning and Christian winning.
Okay. Interesting. So 2 Mark Henrys and a no contest for me. And then you said Christian, Tyler?
Christian.
Okay. So 1 Christian and 2 Randy Ortons. So that's going to be very interesting. And then the what's probably guaranteed to be the main event of the night.
No question.
Going to be CM Punk versus John Cena with Triple H as the special ref in this match.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yes. Definitely it's being hyped up. It's going to be, hopefully they can put on another great match like they did at Money in the Bank.
I hope so.
Because
it was awesome.
SummerSlam is, their third most important show of the year behind Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
You could argue second, maybe. I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean, maybe like most popular and most, something like that. But yeah, SummerSlam is definitely supposed to be like, a big show in that, group. So, I guess they want to make it as big as Money in the Bank, if not bigger, now that they've added Triple H. So with Triple H being thrown into the mix, what do you guys think about this match?
Something's going down.
I think Punk's going over. I think the only reason you give Triple H a spot in the match is to screw someone. Otherwise,
Because it don't make sense if he's just in there just a referee and nothing happens.
Yeah.
I mean, they were civil in their feud. They don't like each other, but they're feuding. So why would they? But he shoehorned himself in for seemingly no reason. So it has to be to screw someone.
Right.
And I just got the weird feeling they're gonna screw Cena somehow. I don't know why. It just how Raw ended kind of made me feel like they're setting up a swerve. When Punk was out, like we were talking about Punk being outside, and it's like,
Yeah.
is the fixing?
Yeah.
Is the fixing? Is this how it's going to be at SummerSlam?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know where you go from there. I don't know what logical reason Triple H would have to screw Cena, or why he would side with Punk, or even if screwing Cena means he sides with Punk, or if he's just screwing Cena. I don't know. I just kind of feel like he screws Cena somehow, and I think Punk's going over.
Okay. How about you,
I
Tyler?
can't tell who they are gonna screw.
This sounds dirty.
Hey.
You need
Get your
to
mind out of the gutter.
you need to go to the bathroom and think about it.
Hey. She don't appreciate it.
Okay, so who are you gonna go with on this match if you have to pick a winner?
I'm gonna go with Punk.
Punk. Okay, and why is that?
I just think that with all the this recent push, what's been going on with all this angle and stuff, I don't think they should. Well, I don't know exactly if it's gonna kill it by him losing, but I think he should just keep the title for all the stuff that just to keep on going and stuff, and he can brag that he's the main champion. And
Yeah,
all that stuff.
I think that would be very good for him to do. I think giving Punk the win would definitely keep the.
Cena doesn't need it.
Yeah,
No,
Cena
he doesn't
Punk
need
needs
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Punk is really hot right now, but they could kill him by putting Cena over.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take the wind out of their sails if they give Cena the
But you're totally
the
right.
victory
There
on
is
that
no
one.
need for it
Cena doesn't
because-
need anything.
Yeah.
Cena's made. He's a made man.
Yeah, and so I'm going to go with Punk on that one as well. Maybe like you said, Doug, with like a swerve or something like that going into it. So we'll definitely have to see. But Another reason.
Do you guys think when they whoever wins is getting a new belt?
I would like for them to. Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
I hope they do sort of like a
to get rid of that.
undisputed belt again.
Mm.
So, but yeah. But speaking of CM Punk, his shirt, his Best in the World shirt, has been delayed again, and it's because of high demand. So they're having.
I heard it was like the like.
It's one of the highest
selling
shirts.
in, like,
If you want a shirt, just contact us. We can make it. My girlfriend sews, and so it'll just say instead of WWE Authentic, it'll be WNS Authentic. So.
There you go. Yeah, we need to get like a logo.
She does
going for
sew.
it and stuff like
Also, while Tyler's in the bathroom. She's a multitasker. She keeps her man company on the crapper while she sews your shirt.
While taking phone calls.
While taking phone calls.
Gun to the head, huh, Daryl?
With the who? With the who?
I'd like a Dr. Pepper. You want a what? You want a who?
You want a who?
So, but yeah, CM Punk shirt being delayed once again. So if you're interested in purchasing it, tough luck because you might have to wait just a little bit longer. A little bit of interesting news in the world of Ring of Honor. They have announced recently that they have signed former TNA/Impact star Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
He's going to be facing El Generico at the tapings going on September 24th in Chicago. So definitely going to be tuning in for that. And
That's when
gonna,
it airs.
Yes, that's when it.
But
that's
if you're
when
in
it airs.
Chicago Ridge, Illinois, it's this Saturday, and you should go to that show.
Yes. And so that's what's going to bring us into our next segment. Very happy times. And here we go.
You're listening to a special interview segment from the official podcast of WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Okay, folks, now it's time for a special interview portion of our show. We're going to have a Ring of Honor current wrestler known by the name of Adam Cole. Adam, welcome to the show.
Great. Thank you guys for having me on the show today.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate you joining us. Kicking things off, Ring of Honor recently being purchased by Sinclair. Going to be airing in late September, I believe.
Yeah, September 24th.
Oh, very nice. Okay. And first taping is going on this Saturday, so you're going to have a pretty big weekend coming up for you.
Oh, a very big weekend, too. And, let me just touch base for a minute, too. Obviously, I was a huge wrestling fan growing up. And wrestling and television are hand in hand. So in order for Ring of Honor to really grow and become the company that it truly is capable of becoming, this partnership with Sinclair is just something that everyone within Ring of Honor is so excited about. But it was also such an exciting time and such a relief, too, to know that Sinclair Broadcasting is completely on board with this. They have such faith in ROH, and they really believe that ROH's products currently as it is now should not be tarnished or changed in any way, and that it really offers something different to the pro wrestling world, and it truly is the alternative in professional wrestling to a WWE or a TNA. And I really think that given the opportunity to showcase what Ring of Honor is capable of on a grander stage with something like broadcast television is just unreal to me. I mean, I grew up watching wrestling just like I'm sure all of you guys did, and I'm sure whoever's listening to this, obviously a big wrestling fan growing up. So this will be very neat to have something truly different on television in Ring of Honor.
Absolutely. What was your initial reaction when hearing that Ring of Honor had been purchased by Sinclair?
Oh man, I had so many different emotions go through my body. First of all, like I said, because I'm so young. I'm 22 years old. I've only been wrestling for 3 years, so I'm very fortunate to have an opportunity like this. So I was so excited just at the possibilities of what could happen with ROH being seen by so many different people. Because I remember actually when I was just a fan of wrestling, when I wasn't involved with wrestling, Ring of Honor was the product that I showed my friends to make them think that wrestling was cool. Because even though I was a fan of like WWE and TNA and Japanese wrestling and all kinds of wrestling, Ring of Honor was a product that for whatever reason people are really drawn to. And I think with like the boom of like UFC right now and like the realism of that and like people being portrayed as just pure athletes is something that's kind of hot right now. So lots of guys, that 18 to 35 male demographic, really think Ring of Honor is cool. Anyone that I've shown certainly hasn't been disappointed with what they've seen. So now thinking that so many more people will get to see ROH is really cool, and I hope the fan base continues to grow. And it's also a scary process too, because there's a lot of unknowns. A lot of people were curious as to. I mean, a lot of people were worried too. Like, is Sinclair going to take everyone on the ROH roster? Are they going to get rid of some guys and bring in some different people? But we were very relieved to know that from the get-go, Sinclair Broadcasting wanted the current ROH product. So for the most part, it's just all completely positive, at least from my standpoint. I'm just completely excited at the opportunity.
So I take it that the morale is pretty high in the locker room, like going into this.
Yeah, the morale is very, very high, very, very high. Knowing that, like for example, a lot of these guys work very, very hard, and that's something too. Is the second that I walked into the ROH locker room, the coolest thing to me about the locker room, even before the Sinclair purchase went down, was that everyone in that locker room genuinely wants to be the absolute best wrestler that they can be. So for a young guy like me, it's just a very like motivating time, because knowing that guys like Davey Richards and guys like Chris Hero and guys like Claudio and at the time Christopher Daniels just continue to strive for perfection, it makes the young guys like me and Kyle O'Reilly and Mike Bennett and Michael Elgin and Tommaso Ciampa say, hey, we always got to keep getting better and we always have to improve, and that's why I think Ring of Honor is such an exciting product. So when Sinclair came to us and said, hey, this is the opportunity that we're giving you guys, we didn't find any negative in it. We completely looked at the positives of it and said, hey, now we have a chance to showcase what we can do on a much, much larger stage. Mm-hmm. So it's just a completely positive atmosphere, like August 13th in Chicago Ridge for the first set of TV tapings. Everyone is so excited. I mean, at this point, it's days away. So, yeah, everyone is very, very excited, like I said, to really show everyone what we're all about.
Absolutely. And it's going to be a pretty big card starting off, you and Kyle O'Reilly are going to be going up against the Bravado brothers. Also the Briscoes and versus All Night Express, Eddie Edwards versus Michael Elgin, the ROH TV champion El Generico versus Jay Lethal, the ROH Tag Team champions Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas versus the Kings of Wrestling, and finally the ROH champion Davey Richards versus Roderick Strong. With you being in the business for such a short time, how does it feel going up against names like the Briscoes and the Kings of Wrestling and all those other guys that are in there?
Oh man, it's like I said earlier about having a mixed range of emotions. It's the same deal here, where it's a very intimidating process to walk into the ring with my partner Kyle O'Reilly, who I respect so much. And I mean, we're like, for example, me and O'Reilly are so much more than just a tag team. We've truly have become really, really close friends, not only in pro wrestling but in our personal lives as well. So it's so intimidating for the both of us to be able to walk in and face guys that we were just such fans of growing up, and now we're getting to wrestle these guys. But at the same time, it's very exciting because we've truly been tested and we've really, really been pushed to our absolute limit, wrestling, in my opinion, some of the absolute best in the world. So it's great because we know that we're only going to move forward and we're only going to progress and we're going to continue to grow as wrestlers, which is what we need right now. It's such an important time of our careers, and with Ring of Honor going to Sinclair Broadcasting, me and Kyle have that vision of one day becoming the top tag team in Ring of Honor. And in order to do that, we have to face the best, and we have to really prove ourselves and really see what we're made of. So it's very, very exciting, very, very intimidating, but that's part of the game. So,
right, and you're in the RH tag division is completely stacked with the Kings, wrestling's greatest tag team, you guys, All Night Express, Briscoes, etc. With a lot of talk about wrestling, tag team wrestling being kind of dead or a lost art form, or something that's just not featured in other companies, I was wondering if you could, maybe tell us what it means to you to be in a tag team in such a stacked division in a company that not only features tag wrestling, but kind of makes it a focal point of their company.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you brought that up, because even when I first broke into wrestling, I had complete visions of just being a singles wrestler. And I think a lot of that reason is not only in pro wrestling, but the audience to a grander scale, like I'm talking like WWE and TNA and things like that. The audience has been trained to believe that tag team wrestling is a sideshow act. And I even bought into it at one point. I thought, and the only way I'm really going to succeed is if I'm a singles wrestler, so I'm going to completely focus on being a singles wrestler. But this could not be any further from the truth. And I think Ring of Honor has really, really proven that with its tag team division. I will speak to anybody and argue with anybody about ROH currently, right now, having the best tag division in the world when it comes to professional wrestling. And as far as the bringing out like a passion and an excitement for tag team wrestling, Ring of Honor has done that so well, and they've succeeded in doing so. They have shown time and time again why tag team wrestling is so important, and it's such a commodity. When you have someone like Jim Cornette involved also in the booking process, who was so influential with guys like the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express, etc., influencing the guys in Ring of Honor about the importance of tag team wrestling. And then, like you said, when you have teams like the Kings of Wrestling, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, the Briscoe brothers, etc., it's an honor to be in the ring with those guys, and it also has revamped my excitement for tag team wrestling. Like teaming with Kyle O'Reilly has been such a pleasure, and the fans really seem to enjoy it as well. And I do think it's something that we'll be able to bring to the table now that we're here with Sinclair Broadcasting, and we'll be able to show this on a bigger stage. Like I said before, that tag team wrestling is so important, not only to Ring of Honor, but professional wrestling. So absolutely, tag team wrestling is something that's often overlooked, but unfortunately shouldn't be, and I think ROH is going to show exactly why tag team wrestling is so important.
So, going back to your past, you've credited WrestleMania 17 as being your catalyst to want to get into wrestling, with the match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and versus The Rock. What other wrestlers inspired you during the start of your wrestling career?
Yeah, well, to touch base on that a little bit, if you guys don't mind.
Go for it.
Yeah, the biggest reason, and like you guys mentioned, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock was so influential to me because it was the first time that I ever got goosebumps. Ever watching any kind of wrestling, or even bigger than that, like movies or TV or music or theater or anything. I was so moved by the story that those guys told in the ring, and at that point I knew that this was something that I wanted to do. So Stone Cold Steve Austin will always be a guy at the top of my list when it comes to guys who made me want to be a wrestler. But then even further than that, guys like Kurt Angle. I remember just being a kid, and I remember watching wrestling, like taking it back to Stone Cold, and I used to just really be into like his entrance because I thought he had such a presence, and I was so excited when he'd come out. I barely even paid attention to the matches. I was just so enthralled by him and who he was. But then you had a guy like Kurt Angle who really kind of made me realize, okay, he's a lot better in the ring than a lot of the guys that I'm seeing on WWE TV. So then I started to pay more attention to the in-ring action and why I liked Kurt, like his classic with Chris Benoit at Royal Rumble 2003, his absolutely flawless match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21. I mean, Kurt is a guy that's just was so inspiring as far as his work ethic and what he brought to the table wrestling-wise. So he was another guy, even to this day, that I respect so much and that I really, really look up to. But then I also have to credit a guy who is being talked about by everyone in the professional wrestling world right now, and that's CM Punk. For the main reason of Punk was a guy that actually introduced me to the independent wrestling scene. I remember at the time I was so wrapped up into the WWF, then turned WWE at the time. I caught a little bit of WCW. I caught ECW at the very end when it was on TNN, so I had a lot of catching up to do. But then there was a website called ObsessedWithWrestling.com that I checked out, and I think it's Online World of Wrestling. It was such a great website, and at the time, they were talking about was this guy CM Punk, and I had never heard of him before because I wasn't really an indie wrestling follower at that point. So I checked him out. And he just blew my mind with his promo ability. The guy was unreal. I remember watching his matches and being like, okay, yeah, he's pretty good, but I don't really see what all the hype's about. And then I saw his feud with Raven, and I was just blown away. And just by Punk's ability to draw me in as a fan to wanting to watch everything that he did and watch every match that he had, just because of the way he talked me into buying a DVD. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it just completely opened my eyes and realized that there's a lot more out there than the WWE. And that's something that I always tell fans of wrestling who either watch WWE, TNA, or Ring of Honor. There's just so much out there.
Definitely.
There's so many great guys out there that you can watch, and but that's what makes pro wrestling so exciting to me. Is there's just countless hours of footage that you can watch, and you'll never see it all. And there's always some guy coming up that's doing something different and doing something exciting that just completely blows your mind and always keeps you intrigued and always makes you want to buy the next DVD. So Punk was one of those guys also that was very, very influential in making me realize there's a lot more out there than just Vince McMahon and his corporate structure of the WWE.
Absolutely.
You also trained at CZW Academy under John Dahmer and DJ Hyde. With Ultraviolence, being tagline for CZW, do you ever feel pressured to, do that hardcore deathmatch style that CZW was known for?
Yeah. When I first started training there, that was the big question I had from a lot of different people. And to be honest with you, I never felt pressured to do an ultraviolent match in my career. And to DJ's credit, he's never asked me to. John Zandig never asked me to, because they knew what I brought to the table was something different than the ultraviolent wrestling. CZW is a company now, especially under DJ Hyde's ownership, that is actually much more well-rounded than it's perceived to be. For example, the ultraviolent wrestling is, of course, its tagline and something that CZW does better than any company in the United States as far as the independent level goes. But at the same time, DJ has done such a good job of making it a well-rounded company with really, really great wrestling. We have really, really good high flyers, really, really hard strikers, hilarious characters. You get everything out of CZW. So fortunately for me, I was never put into a situation where I had to do that. Even though I respect the guys who do the deathmatch wrestling so much, because you have guys like Drake Younger and Scotty Vortex and Danny Havoc, who really have turned it into an art form, especially a guy like Drake Younger. I mean, the guy is phenomenal at putting a deathmatch together. And making it exciting for the fans and exciting for the people who buy the DVD. So he's phenomenal. But yeah, like I said, at the same time, CZW is also very well-rounded. There's a guy, Sammy Callahan, who's unreal, who can do it all. He's a great deathmatch worker. He's a great pro wrestler who can just do it all. And then you have me, who I haven't done any deathmatch stuff. But, like, for example, DJ put myself and AR Fox for the Junior Heavyweight Championship in the main event of the CZW show, and there was
World Junior Heavyweight.
There was no deathmatch stuff involved whatsoever. So he's really trying to kind of turn it around and make it a more well-rounded product, which I think is smart to do. So that way, fans of pro wrestling can maybe get a little bit of everything when they buy a CZW DVD.
I know you've had some additional training and what I would assume to be like seminars under guys like Les Thatcher and Al Snow. Mm-hmm. And I've heard Al Snow talk a lot about like his philosophy in wrestling and how what he views to be a problem with a lot of guys is that everyone wants to go out there and have the best match on the show and not necessarily do what's right for their spot on the card. And I was wondering, is that something that you agree with, or do you think everybody should have the opportunity, if they have the ability, to go out there and steal the show?
I do. I 100% agree with Al Snow's philosophy, and I'll even use early Ring of Honor as an example. There was a point when Ring of Honor first started where they had the philosophy of everyone goes out and tries to steal the show, and lots of times the crowd by the main event would just be totally burned out because they've seen just phenomenal wrestling after phenomenal wrestling after phenomenal wrestling, and there's only so much great wrestling. No matter how much of a big wrestling fan you are, sitting through 4 hours of 20-minute head drop, high spot, kicking out of a million false finishes matches. There's only so much of that an audience can take.
Right.
So I do 100% agree with the philosophy of knowing your place on the card, knowing what your job is, knowing what the goal is. But at the same time, there's a lot of promotions out there that I almost think have the wrong understanding of how pro wrestling should be. Like, for example, guys will book just random guys on their show, and they'll fill their undercard with that, and they'll say they'll book like a 4 to 6 man match, and they'll say you guys have 6 minutes, and all you guys have to get over, and if you do, then I'll bring you back. If you don't, then don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. And that's an unfortunate problem with a lot of pro wrestling promoters now, because you'll have an undercard filled with guys just doing moves to try to get over to impress the promoters and to impress the fans, but it's being done for the wrong reasons. Whereas now, like, you look at Ring of Honor's product now, everyone has a place, everyone has a mission, everyone has a goal for each and every match on the card. If not every match is going to be 20 minutes of like I said, that big match feel, that epic match. But if you do your place, or if you know your place, and if you do your job, eventually you will get that opportunity to have that match. And if you excel, then maybe you'll be higher up on the card at that point. So I 100% agree with Al Sano's philosophy, and I really think it does make for a very, very good wrestling show and a really well-rounded wrestling show, which I think a lot of people need to take notice of for sure.
Okay. What would you say, with your time being in Ring of Honor, what would be like a short-term goal and a long-term goal for you?
A short-term goal for now, and I don't know how long it's going to take us, but me and Kyle O'Reilly for sure want to just keep improving as a tag team and keep growing. Me and Kyle recently went on a tour of Europe from February to March. We got to really improve our game over there. So short term, man, I really think me and Kyle want to. Recently at a Tag Team Turmoil 2011 in Richmond, Virginia, me and Kyle earned a shot at the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships at some point during this year. So realistically, with the momentum that we've had, I really think that short term, me and Kyle would love to become ROH World Tag Team Champions. I think we've really grown as a team. I think we've meshed so well as a team, and I think potentially that will be in our cards at some point in our ROH careers. Looking long term and a couple years from now, because me and Kyle have that mindset, both of us have the mindset of just wanting to be the absolute best. In ROH, that means you have to be the ROH World Champion. So, at some point in my career, I would love to direct my attention to that and really become ROH World Champion. That's everyone's goal who's in ROH, and it should be that way. And like I said, I think that's why it creates such an exciting product for everybody, because everyone wants to be the best. Right now, Davey Richards is the best, and even Kyle O'Reilly, who's Davey Richards' protege, as much as he respects Davey, and as much as he looks up to Davey, as he should, as I do, as many people do. Kyle one day would love to hold the ROH World Championship, even though that's his trainer. I one day would love to hold the ROH World Championship. Everyone's gunning for that title. Every tag team in ROH is gunning to be the ROH World Tag Team Champions. So yeah, I would say short term, me and O'Reilly, maybe one day becoming ROH World Tag Team Champions, and then looking long term, I would love to be at the top of ROH and love to be ROH World Champion.
Absolutely.
You just kind of touched on, your tour of Germany, where you had like notable matches against guys like, Zack Sabre Jr. I was just kind of curious, is there any other countries out there that, you'd like to tour that you haven't got a chance to go to yet? Oh,
for sure. And to me too, that is such a perk of pro wrestling is just getting to travel, and getting to see the world. Like there's so many places I've seen, not only in the United States that I would never get to, but like I would have never gone to London, England, and Germany and things like that if it wasn't for pro wrestling. And I take full advantage of that. But not only would I like to go to England and Germany again, obviously Japan is a place that I would love to go. I think everyone not only who works for Ring of Honor, but for the most part, everyone in pro wrestling would love to go to Japan. I might have some stuff lined up in Australia for later this year, which I'm just so excited about and would love to do. But yeah, really, and I'm not kidding when I say this. I mean, any place that I could travel worldwide, I would love to go. I would wrestle in Afghanistan if I could. I love traveling and I love experiencing the world, and not only growing as a pro wrestler, but just growing as a human being. Because it's so neat to be able to travel and experience so many different things worldwide, and pro wrestling has given me that gift. So, but I would say mainly just as far as improving my game, Japan has to be the top of that list for sure.
Right on. Well, it's kind of been rumored that ROH, is trying to reestablish their relationship with Pro Wrestling Noah. So if that opportunity came knocking, would it be possible to see Adam Cole on a Pro Wrestling Noah tour?
Oh, I hope so. I would certainly hope so. I'll certainly be begging for it. That's for sure.
Because I need to see Adam Cole versus Naomichi Marufuji and Adam Cole versus Kenta. So try to make that happen for me, please.
Yes, please. Send the emails to the ROH office and make it happen.
Absolutely.
So, like, what's been your favorite match that you've competed in so far?
Oh man, gosh, there's so many for so many different reasons. Like for example, WrestleMania weekend when me and O'Reilly wrestled the Briscoes and we wrestled the Kings of Wrestling. That was awesome. That was a great weekend for me and Kyle. Me and Kyle recently wrestled the Young Bucks or Generation Me in the Hammerstein Ballroom, June 26th at Best in the World. That was awesome. There was like 2,500 people there. And then even more recently, me and O'Reilly wrestled the American Wolves of Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards in Charlotte, North Carolina. A few people are saying already that's a match of the year candidate, but that was, again, just such a test for us and such a dream come true as well, just getting to go toe-to-toe with the absolute best in the world. But I'm going to say, just for moment purposes, me and Kyle's match against Rhett Titus and Kenny King, the All Night Express at Final Battle 2010, for this reason, and there's a little bit of a story to it. Me and Kyle had recently signed with Ring of Honor, and me and Kyle went to the Glory by Honor show just to watch, because we had recently signed contracts with ROH, and it was in the Manhattan Center. And we watched the show. That was the show that Tyler Black lost the world championship to Roderick Strong. It was the first time Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team wrestled the Kings of Wrestling. And me and Kyle were standing there watching the show. And I turned over to Kyle, and I said, Kyle, I think me and you are going to get to open Final Battle this year in the Manhattan Center. And he goes, man, that'd be crazy. That'd be wild. I said, I know. I said, but I just had that feeling. I said, it'd be awesome. And he goes, yeah, I agree with you. And the plan was that we were not supposed to be on Final Battle 2010. But for a show we had in Mississauga, Ontario, we were originally scheduled to wrestle the All Night Express in Canada. Well, long story short, there were travel issues, and Eddie Edwards actually got hurt the night before at Survival of the Fittest, which he won. So there were some card changes, and we ended up wrestling the Bravado Brothers. But Delirious still wanted to have the match with me and O'Reilly versus the All Night Express. So what he did was he had no choice but to put the match on Final Battle because he really, really wanted to get that match in. So like I said, we weren't supposed to be on Final Battle, but he put it on because it didn't work out in Canada. So gave us that opening card spot. And then the crowd just received us so well. And in my opinion, that was me and Kyle's breakout match where we got to tell the audience, hey, listen, we're not only here to stay, but someday we're going to be a top tag team in Ring of Honor. And like I said, the New York crowd just received us so well. When you wrestle guys as talented as Kenny and Rhett, you can't go wrong. So I think for moment purposes, and I think looking back on our ROH career so far, that match has to stand the test of time for me as far as being something that's so special.
Very nice. What would you say, a match you haven't had, what would probably be your dream match?
Oh, man. Like of all time, if I could pick anything?
If you could pick anyone, past or present. Yeah.
Eddie, okay. Oh, man, that's tough.
like to put you on the spot.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I guess that this is so unrealistic. Not only because I don't work for a company that he did work for, and he actually retired recently. But for me, my biggest, like, ultimate dream match would be me against Shawn Michaels. For the reason of Shawn, to me, he's the perfect wrestler. He was a great babyface. He was a great heel. He was a great high flyer. He was a great technician. He was great on the mic. He had a great look. No matter who he was thrown in there with, he could have a great match. He was a bump machine. Everything he did, I believed. And the most motivating thing to me about Shawn Michaels was no matter how good he was, or no matter how many people told him he was the best ever, whether it was Triple H or Ric Flair, he still strove to improve, and he still strove just to be the absolute best that he could be at all times. Even when he was getting ready to retire, he still had that mindset of, I can get better, and I want to have the best match on the show, because that was the role he was booked in at all times. He was just one of those guys you could count on as having an awesome match every single time. So Shawn Michaels, to me, would be like the ultimate dream. The ultimate dream for sure. Like I said, very unrealistic. But maybe someday I'll convince him to come out of retirement to have a match with Adam Cole. Who knows?
Well, with all that being said, who comes out on top?
Oh, me for sure.
There
You got to put the young guy over, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean, okay.
I'd have to win, and it would be like a 2-minute match.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm kidding.
That quick, huh? Well, Adam
No,
Cole.
I'm kidding. Oh gosh, yeah. I would. There's no way I could go over Shawn Michaels.
Well, you know he's got a hunting show, so
No
you might
way.
want to be cautious what you say.
I would lay down as long as we got to go like 30 minutes.
There you
Please.
go. Very anyone. So, well, thank you very much, Adam Cole. Going to be teaming up with your tag team partner Kyle O'Reilly versus the Bravado Brothers this Saturday for the first taping of the Ring of Honor. It's being purchased by Sinclair. Going to be airing on September 24th. You said.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Airing September 24th.
Just double checking. If there's anyone who wants to hit you up, what's your you got Facebook, Twitter, anything like that?
Yeah. I have. You can friend me on Facebook at facebook.com/AdamColePro. I also have a Twitter account where you can follow me at twitter.com/AdamColePro. I have a new YouTube channel as well where I have this guy, Dan Mitchell, who's an awesome guy. He lives in England, and he's done a great job running my YouTube channel, which is also, you can guess, youtube.com/AdamColePro. But very, very cool stuff up there, like moves and promos and blogs and Q&As and stuff like that. And then also I have a new website out where you can buy like T-shirts, DVDs, pictures, whatever you'd like, at www.adamcolepro.com, where you can find the latest information and stuff like that on my website. So feel free to check all of those out.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We certainly do wish you the best of luck this upcoming Saturday, and we look forward to seeing you on Ring of Honor. And,
Great, yeah. No, thank you guys so much for having me. This is a good time.
Thanks, Adam. We really appreciate it,
Thank you
man.
for being on the show, man.
Oh, no, sure. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to have you back.
Anytime.
Great, awesome, guys. You guys have a good one, okay?
All right, you too. Take care.
All right, you too.
Very much fun. I was happy to have him on our show.
Yeah, it was awesome. Very cool dude. We're definitely fans. Hopefully he can come back someday.
I hope he does.
Nice guy.
That would be good. So, moving on. Hope you enjoyed that. Moving on into our Q&A portion of the show. It's your questions and our answers.
Tyler's bathrooms and Tyler. Phone calls and stuff.
Drop it.
Like it's hot. Yeah. Questions coming from our Facebook page. Go to WNS Podcast on Facebook page and submit your questions there. First question coming from Prime Time, asking, Christian was a top-tier mid-carder and left the WWE to establish himself as a main eventer, became TNA World Champion, and then came back.
Whoa. I want to correct that.
Impact, whatever.
No. NWA.
NWA.
Heavyweight
Okay.
champion.
NWA TNA.
Whatever.
He corrected me.
But the point is, he came back as a legit main eventer in
I
WWE.
rule all.
Doyle rules.
So he came back as a legit main eventer in WWE. What mid-carder from the WWE now should do the same? Go over.
Well,
to
I
Impact.
think that I don't think. I think this is a special case. I think this is the exception, not the rule. I don't think it works like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when Christian came back, I think Vince saw him the same as he ever did.
Yeah.
He was happy to sign him back, but I still think he always thought of him as a mid-carder, and I don't think they ever thought about putting the title on Christian until Edge retired.
Yeah.
And they did it for that feel good.
Just that one sole reason, and the fans got real behind him.
Yeah, and so I really don't think that's going to work with anybody else, and I think it'd be pretty stupid for anybody
with
else
this
to try
regime of TNA, it wouldn't be.
That being said, who do we think should try that stupid thing?
Well, maybe not like that specific route, but like who would you say could be mid-card in WWE, go over to Impact or TNA, and become sort of like the top-tier guy over there? Like, who's someone that you would
Anybody
take
who
out?
WWE releases is going to be a main eventer in TNA.
Yeah. Gail Kim. I don't know. I'd like to say,
I like to say,
yeah, I will sit there and say,
Things that make you go,
question mark.
maybe like a
Things that make you go.
maybe like a tag team or something like that. I would maybe send Trent Beretta and what was his
Trent
name?
Beretta's not a mid-carder.
Yeah, he's not even an opener. Okay.
That's an undercard, man.
Yeah, Kofi Kingston. I'd probably send him over there, and I think he could do really good because he's got the high flyer, he's got the fans behind him, got the little gimmick, the boom, boom, boom. One more than Colt Cabana. That's what they need to have. Kofi Kingston versus Colt Cabana, Battle of the Booms.
Boom off. Tyler.
Wow.
Who would you send over to Impact to become a top tier guy?
This guy I'm about to say is already, it's been having this push for a while, maybe as a mid-carder, but Dolph
Ziggler?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be a pretty okay pick. How about you, Doug?
I really got nothing because I honestly believe in my heart of hearts it would be stupid for anyone to do this.
Not to go and then come back, but just to go there and rise to the top over there.
I honestly believe in my heart of hearts anyebody who's released by the WWE is going to go get a push in TNA.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just name a name to name a name, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
I did.
That'll work for us. Next question coming from Kieran. Who, in your opinion, is the most underrated wrestler ever? By the way, if this question isn't on the show, I can consider myself the most underrated WNS podcast fan.
You can edit this out, right?
Maybe.
William Regal or Finlay. Not that I think they're well respected within the business, and but I think to the casual fans or to maybe some less knowledgeable fans, they maybe don't get why those guys are so great, and they really are great. So
Okay. How about you, Tyler? Anyone pop into mind?
Crud. Go ahead.
I'd probably say maybe someone like Ted DiBiase Sr. Because, he was a guy who was never given the main title, but he did, just phenomenal work in the ring, very good gimmick. He worked with it, I think he was very underrated in his work. Also, you could say maybe Roddy Piper.
What?
see, I don't think those guys qualify as underrated because those guys were still big.
Well,
big
yeah,
names.
I mean they're big, but were they really given the credit that they were due?
I don't know. I think that's debatable. I think it's arguable, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Piper or DiBiase Sr. is thought of as underrated, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Would you consider Goldust?
I would.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Goldust is
thinking.
awesome. That was actually I was gonna say a third, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But man, especially during his most recent run when he came back, he got in the shape of his career, and he was just having amazing matches.
Yeah, and he was working with the younger talent
Yeah.
and all that. So
Yeah. So I mean, he kind of went into the position that Regal and Finlay had, who are those guys like that who never really get their due with the fans, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good answer, Tyler.
Okay. Our next question is coming from, they give us a way to pronounce it, Sohaib Siddiqui.
Sahib Siddiqui.
Dude, I'm sorry if I'm completely.
But thank you, because we did say spell it phonetically, and then he did, so we appreciate that.
He said if you can't pronounce my name, probably unlikely. Say Sohaib or Sohi. I don't know.
I think it's Sohaib Siddiqui.
I'm just getting more hatred every time. Siddiqui. Asking at WrestleMania 28, who would you want to see The Undertaker face? I don't really know who's left to face him, but if I had to choose one, it would be Chris Jericho. So what do you guys think? Who faces Undertaker for the possible 20-0, 19-1?
I mean, I really wouldn't want it to be Jericho, and here's why. I mean, yes, they would probably have a pretty good match, but the thing about Undertaker and Mania and the streak is it's more interesting to me when you don't know if, it's possible that they may have chosen to break the streak that year. And when you put him in there with an established guy like a Jericho or a Triple H or Shawn Michaels, Taker's going over because the other guy doesn't need it.
Yeah.
And that's Taker's thing. He's not a championship title guy. He's the street guy. And so when you put him in, and if anyone's ever going to break the streak, it has to go to a young guy who is going to put them over forever. Mm-hmm. So I think it's more interesting if you put him in there with a younger, less established guy and the tricky thing about that is they have to be sure that guy is going to be a huge star if they're going to give him that, which I don't really think the streak should ever be broken. But
I agree with that.
But so as much as I'm sure that Undertaker and Jericho would have a good match, I wouldn't be interested in that because I would be 100% positive that Taker's going over. I would like to see him in there with a guy. Up until really recently, I would have said Alberto Del Rio, but I think that he's already made enough, so he's kind of over that with Money in the Bank and the Rumble. So I'm gonna say Daniel Bryan just because I love Daniel Bryan and he was gonna have a good match with him, and he's like that guy who I think could be a huge star, and that would be like a career-defining moment that would push him over the hump into being super over.
Yeah. What about you?
I see your point on that, and I want to say Daniel Bryan, and I know this other guy I'm about to say is already, over, but I'm gonna say, what about the Miz?
Well, see, if you would have asked me this question last year before the Miz blew up, that would have been him and Punk would have been like in my mind as guys who could have needed it. Even though Punk had already had titles, they kind of they dropped the ball on him quite a few times.
Yeah.
So
have they ever fought each other?
Miz and Taker?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Punk and Taker have, but I don't think Miz and Taker have.
I think for my pick, like you discussed earlier, Doug, it has to be someone who's kind of new, kind of young into it, who could definitely use that.
Because that's the only way there's any mystery.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what if there was someone who was in the main event scene and got pushed down to mid-card and probably need that?
It doesn't
help him, or
it doesn't work. I don't think it
work.
Works.
You don't think it work that way?
You got to pick a young guy who you're sure is going to be a big star, but he needs that one big thing that's going to make him. Well, he's not ready to be he's not ready to be the face of your company yet, but that's something you give him. He's going to be a made man.
Well, I think I've got a guy who can touch base on both of those. Who was once in a main event picture and is still kind of young and can have that kind of momentum.
I know you're gonna say Sheamus.
No, I'm not gonna say Sheamus.
Sheamus would be a good pick too.
Sheamus would be good. No, not Swagger, because I just don't see it in him.
I like Swagger, but I think they keep dropping the ball.
I'm gonna say Wade Barrett because he has that main event sort of.
I think he has the presence of a main eventer and he has the talk of a main eventer. I'm still not sold on him in the ring yet though.
Yeah, I mean, give him 2, maybe 3 years, and I think he's going to be one of the top tier guys.
It can take your last 3 years.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not for that. It's for him to start.
Now.
That's to get him to start that track and say, okay, I've.
Also, hey, Wade Barrett was.
I will say I will add Sheamus to my Daniel Bryan though. I think Sheamus is also an excellent candidate. Mm-hmm.
Also, for the Wade Barrett thing, Wade Barrett in Nexus took out Undertaker. Remember?
Yeah, I mean it sets up for his return. Even though that was last year that they did it, and it was rumored that Wade Barrett was going to face him this past year at WrestleMania.
I don't
So-
think. I think that's a. I mean, like, I don't want you to think I'm shitting on your pick.
No.
I like Barrett, and I think he has that presence about him of a main eventer, and I think he can definitely talk the talk. But as far as in the ring, I'm not sure he walks the walk yet. So.
Yeah. Well, to each his own. But
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for the question. Next, we're going on to Coach Stark, one of our favorites, writer of the Bearography. Mountaintop, asking what is your favorite intro music ever, and also your favorite intro like to the ring, the wrestler's entrance into the ring.
American Dream.
Ding, ding.
He's just a common man. Dusty Rhodes, American Dream, baby. That's my favorite intro music ever. Period. Hands down.
Okay.
I love it.
And
I love it. If you put it on right now, I will dance.
And what would you say is your favorite entrance?
As far as like movements, like walking in, and
just
stuff,
ever, like from the time they walk out of the curtain to the time they get in the ring.
that's a tough one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go to Tyler. Let me think for a minute.
Okay. Tyler, what's your favorite theme ever?
Okay. I don't like this band that much, but I did like their song that came up. This is the Oddities.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, I don't like those guys either, but I do like the Oddities song.
Yeah, I do.
That's cool.
And I'm kind of right now. I'm stumped like Doug, so I'm going to have to think about the best.
Entrance.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say for my favorite was the Mr. Kennedy theme, the fast-paced one, not the slow one. The I turn up the drum. No, I want the dun. I want the faster version. That one's my favorite, Mr. Kennedy. And my favorite entrance, I'm gonna have to say Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania when he came down the zip line.
Nice.
I mean that one, that's in every WrestleMania highlight reel that is shown.
Right.
So I kind of have to go with that.
One of my favorite intros was actually the WrestleMania 25, the one we went to, where he came down from the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, like kind of like an elevator? He was the light.
Yeah.
That was
He
pretty
came
neat.
down from heaven.
Isn't that what Daniel just said? That?
No,
he
I
said
said
zip line.
the Iron Man match versus Bret Hart.
Oh,
They
okay.
came down on the
Oh, the
zip
zip
line.
line.
Oh, look at that! There we go.
Yeah.
Back when Vince McMahon was on commentary.
I can make a really tasteless joke, but I'm not going to.
Thank you.
Because it would be inappropriate, and we're not those guys.
Okay. And what about your favorite
I don't
entrance?
know. Like, favorite ever, I don't
If you
know.
don't pick one, I'm gonna say John Cena at WrestleMania 23.
The one with all the Cenas lined up?
No, that was 25. 23 was whenever he came in crashing through the glass in the car.
I really don't know if I could pick a favorite all time.
Or I'm gonna say Doink the Clown at the gimmick Royal Rumble at WrestleMania 17.
I kind of liked. I liked London and Kendricks when they always run in and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Ran
As
in
far
full
as like
force.
regular entrances, I love the Punk, like the checking the watch and the it's
Yeah.
clobbering
Clobbering
time.
Yeah.
But as far as like
You like
extravagant, like mania,
You like Boogeyman.
you like Boogeyman.
No, I mean just like your favorite entrance of all time. Another one of my favorites was WrestleMania 23 was The Undertaker. Whenever the lights were all cut off and all it was this beam of light shining through the opening, and there was the silhouette, I guess, of The Undertaker, like the shadow of him. That's all that was there.
Shadow of
I
a
thought
doubt.
that was pretty cool. Go and check those out if you get a chance. Look
And
up
I'm
on
just
YouTube.
drawing a blank on that.
Okay, so John Cena at WrestleMania 23 coming crashing in with the
No,
crowd.
I want if you're giving me Cena, give me Cena with all the lined up Cenas doing the
Okay,
you
WrestleMania
can't-
25.
25.
Okay.
With some of our local wrestlers
Yeah.
as that from around here were the John Cena's lined up.
Yeah, there we go. Also, head on over to our Facebook page and show us a little support because we have declared war on the Gulf Coast Power Program.
And I'm super disappointed. We had no fan support. We had
We had-
three
yeah,
guys,
3 people.
and it was Austin Rowe, it was Uli, and it was Kyle Kill Wimpenny. Is that his name? Yeah,
I'd
that's
have
his
to
name.
check.
Yeah, but shout out to those dudes.
Yeah, we need to tell him. You
Stepping
know what?
up.
Tell Richard Cranium we do not suck. you know?
Absolutely.
Not only do we not suck, we don't play, and we're coming after you.
And we're gonna take your hat.
in the bathroom.
Really?
really.
Thank you for the
Tyler's,
question, Coach.
Tyler's gonna wear it while he's going to the bathroom.
Not
And Daryl's gonna bedazzle it while
while sewing.
while
the t-shirt.
sewing and talking on the phone.
multitasker. I like that.
Seriously though, go on Facebook and like Gulf Coast Power Pro Wrestling LLC and leave them a comment for Richard Cranium and tell them that we sent you.
Tell them what's up.
Let us
Seriously.
know that you support us.
We try
please
really
and
hard to
thank
be interactive, but we need you guys to be interactive with us.
Yes,
And we need your support, and we need this to happen.
absolutely.
So get it done.
Absolutely. Very good. The following questions come to us from our YouTube account, WNS Video. Head on over there and leave us a little comment or question. The first question coming from the one Tom Lowson asking, who do you think has cut the worst promo of all time? For example, Michael McGillicuddy on NXT Season 2.
I think he might actually take it.
No.
No.
I know. I think I know who you're going with.
Well, I know this one's. Well, there's
The
actually two in my head.
nexus of the genesis. Of
I know this one's kind of funny, but what about Eli Cottonwood with the mustache?
That's exactly who I was going to
And it's
go
also
with.
just like Titus O'Neil, like make it a win.
Make it a win.
If you want to make it a win, you make it a win.
If you're going to fight, make it a fight. If you're going to win, make it a win.
So yeah, either Eli Cottonwood or that one, or maybe like the Miz's first promo, whenever he came out like as the Diva Talent Search host or whatever, and he forgot the website WWE.com,
yeah.
and he was like laughing uncontrollably and stuff like that, like out of nerves. I think that one was pretty funny. That's all over YouTube too.
Yeah. Poor
So-
guy. Well, not poor guy. He's done pretty
At least
well
he's
for himself.
improved, yeah.
He's done
So,
pretty well for himself.
So thank you for that one. The next question coming from Kyle W4 saying, I'm going to point out the obvious. Impact Wrestling, TNA, Hardcore Justice. For a pay-per-view that's meant to be hardcore, where was the hardcore? There wasn't even a no DQ match. Impact Wrestling or TNA dropped the ball big time.
It's a name, dude. I mean, Royal Rumble. Is there anything royal about the Royal Rumble?
The Royal Rumble match at the end.
Yeah, but it's just the name.
But it's also a match.
Yeah.
Like Money in the Bank. You know, you had 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches.
But is there money in that briefcase?
No.
I don't know. I'm stretching it, but I mean, it's just a name. It's just a name.
I mean, I think if they were going to have the pay-per-view that they did, they should have gone back to Hard Justice
Yeah.
instead of Hardcore Justice.
It doesn't bother me. I mean, like, it doesn't bother me that it's just a name.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Tyler? Anything?
I mean, he has a point. I mean, it's it's just a name. So
Okay. All right. Well, our final question for the night coming from YouTube. I am Zool T. I hope I said that right. Asking, has Jeff Hardy left TNA?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think they've kind of just let him go off until his court date finally
on hiatus.
finishes. Yeah, he's on.
hang out with brother Shaka Max.
Why are y'all laughing?
I don't know. That was humorous. Tyler's in the bathroom.
Wow. Yeah.
Is he not on hiatus? Is
I-
he not? Answer. I'm not making jokes.
So Jeff Hardy waiting for his court dates to be settled. He's still on the page, as is Matt Hardy, I believe. But
Yeah.
but
They haven't they haven't released him. He's just
kind of just not there.
chilling, like keep getting his court date bumped.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, that's what I think. What about you, Tyler?
Antichrist. Wow. Well, yeah, he's still on the TNA or Impact Wrestling roster page, so no telling.
Okay. Well, thank you for the questions on that. So, submit your questions on YouTube. Check out WNS. Yeah, double E. WNS video, no spaces. Poor Vladimir Kozlov. I'm so sad. Final question of the night. Since it's goofy, we decided to save it for last. Coming from Daniel, not me, but the other Daniel on Facebook.
Well, there's more than 2 Daniels.
Well, yes, I would hope so. This one's sort of another 3-part question, so we get to pick which question we want on here and just kind of go from there. And I think Tyler, you should get the first one, but we'll save that one for last.
Okay.
Okay, Doug's taking the third one, and Doug's question. Do you want to take it first, or do you want me okay? Yeah, third is going first.
Why does this always happen to me?
Yeah.
I don't ever get thinking time. No, go ahead. I'll take it.
What is your take on the Sting gimmick? I think Sting is entertaining as hell, even though it's a stupid idea.
I think it's awful. I don't think he does it well at all.
Okay.
I think he's like a mashup of every like movie Joker there's ever been. And why is your baby face like mimicking a villain?
Yeah.
You know, I don't get it. I don't think it's that entertaining. I think it's really
to having
not a good
Fortune, jump the members of Immortal and all that.
I think it's pretty lame. I really don't think it's entertaining. I mean, you do, and that's fine. We just disagree, but I don't like it.
Okay. Very good. And I'll take the next question.
Very good.
The
You said
second-
that so. I just gave like a minute of negativity, and you were like,
Very good, Doug.
very good.
Pip cheerio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's ripping good love.
Got the chicken at it.
Second question, which is going to be the second question as read by me, is Zack Ryder's new internet
How come the second
championship-
question gets to go in the second question spot?
I'm sorry. It's just how things go this time. Is Zack Ryder's new internet championship
No, I'm not an intern
title
anymore.
the
I'm
coolest championship of all
Too
time?
legit.
I definitely think it's one of the most original belts. I'm definitely still digging it, and I think it's cool. I'd like to see him defend it on like Superstars or Raw or something like that, just as part of the gimmick. But I don't really think they're gonna make it too legit. But yeah, I don't think it's the coolest
Legit
of
to
all
quit?
time. Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't think it's the coolest of all time, although I can't really say what is. But yeah, that's my part of it. And now the third question, which is the first question being read by Tyler. Don't call me a bear.
Tyler, I take my girlfriend to the bathroom with me. Hey,
Wow, really?
had to get that last dig in.
Don't call me a bear while I'm in the bathroom.
Oh man,
He's like the Charmin bear with the little things get stuck to his butt. Oh, we need to Photoshop Tyler's face on the Charmin bear with the toilet paper stuck to his butt. Can someone make that happen?
Yes, please.
Hey,
Someone
any
Photoshop.
listeners, go ahead and Photoshop Tyler's name on the Charmin bear. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh man.
Man, poor Tyler.
Okay, who would win in a glitter match between David Bowie and Edward Cullen, and why?
Who the
Well,
hell is Edward Cullen? Oh God, are we
That
really
was
gonna answer
Daryl.
this?
Don't lick it.
Tyler.
That was
Twilight.
Daryl. Don't lick the mic.
Daryl, say don't lick it.
Twilight.
Let's do it.
Just one time.
I'm gonna make this short and sweet.
Okay, Tyler.
David Bowie because Twilight sucks.
Wow.
How do you guys know that is the Twilight thing?
I don't know anything.
She just told me.
You guys have been hanging out with Noah Perriman, aren't you?
Noah Perriman loves Twilight.
Oh. Okay, well, thank you for the questions. To submit your questions, go on our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Also, our YouTube page, WNS Video. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com. And on iTunes, make sure to subscribe to us by searching Wrestling News Source. And you can also search Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Search
Either
it.
way.
Search it.
Yeah, search it. Leave us a little comment. Leave us a review, what you think about our show. And
Tyler, you want to do Twitter? Too bad.
hashtag this.
Go ahead.
Now, see, for like months, for like 8 months, y'all been arguing over who's gonna take it. Now you want to do it, and I'm here, and I'm taking it. To follow us on, don't you? I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Go ahead.
Punch you in the face, guys.
No.
No, follow us.
On
Tyler.
Twitter
Tyler, look at me in the eyes right now.
at WNS Podcast. You got the second one. Go.
So much violence.
Stand you down.
To follow the main site. Don't. If you say it, I'm gonna.
Did you say the man site?
Yes.
The main site.
To follow the main site. Just say it, Tyler, because as soon as this mic is gone.
Okay. I will say this because Cousin Dog cannot say it. So,
Pepsi fans, shout out.
main site WN Source.
There you go.
We love it, Pepsi fan. Don't let us get you
No,
down.
we love you, dude.
All right. Thank you all for listening, and take care. We'll see you all next week.